Hey everyone, thank you for joining us.
Hey,
Yeah, for another episode of Orbit. I have with me, as always, Trevor Blades. Thank you for hanging out.
hey, it's my pleasure to be here.
Oh, Nacholo 2, Nacholo 2. Thank you for the follow, much appreciated. Salt and Burnham in the chat. How's it going, man? Thank you for joining us. So we also got Sage Dev in there, it looks like, and Sarah BH. What is that? 2004. So many people. Um, Greco. Hey, how's it going, everyone? Yeah, thank you for joining us. Yeah. So it's been a really refreshing week for me. I was off. Trevor's taken this week off, so he won't be around after this. So say hi to him now because he's gonna disappear. And then yeah. But we're glad to see you. We're glad to have you here. Um, yeah, it's Orbit. So we're gonna talk about GraphQL, right?
You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could have a little like countdown timer on the screen, like minutes until Trevor's gone for the week.
Yeah.
59, 58.
I love it. We should do that. Oh, and this week I dyed my hair blue. Everyone, check that out. Look at that. We got some nice blue going up in there.
Oh,
It's looking
big
good.
big developments
The huge
happening.
developments. Yeah. A
Looks
lot
it
of
looks
things.
uh looks really like shimmering and satiny.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's the pomade. That's to keep it in place.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
You're supposed to
medium.
say it's just near
Yeah.
natural hair. It's just
It's
how
my
it goes,
natural
man.
locks. Yeah. There ain't nothing natural about this hair anymore. I've done so much stuff to it over the last few months. I wouldn't be surprised if it got up and walked away. Yeah. So, what pomade am I using? Somebody actually asked me this today, so you're lucky because I took a picture of it. So let me pull it up, so I can find it. It's called Fix Your Lid hair pomade. I'm using medium hold high shine. Yeah.
Okay.
There you
And
go.
what does pomade do?
So pomade is like it's almost like a putty. So it's like it's meant to help you keep your hair in place without like being hard and stiff like a gel. So like I can still like run my hands through it and move my hair around and get it to like go back to where I want it to, but it's not like
Cool.
stiff and gelled, if that makes any sense at all.
Sure does.
Yeah, so that's what pomade is for, and there's different kinds. Yeah, and it is. I should try Suavecito and or Lay Right. Cool. I might try them. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And the one I'm using works pretty well, so maybe, and it's relatively cheap, so I like it. But I will check those out, and if the price tag ain't too high, maybe I will try them. But
I've 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 never used pomade, but I've seen Suavecito,
yeah,
um, like advertised at barbershops, or maybe not advertised, but sitting on the counter or something like that.
yeah.
They've got cool branding. If I remember correctly, it's all like kind of skulls, Day of the Dead kind of
Oh, that's cool.
branding.
That's what this
Pretty
one
dope.
has. Skulls. I did get another one called Smooth Viking that I might try, but it was given to me. But like, yeah, this one. I'm gonna see if I can bring it up on my phone. Yeah, there we go. So it's just like the skull,
Yeah,
fixilated, like very 1950s ish kind of uh,
yeah,
rockabilly. Is that called? Yeah, rockabilly vibe.
cool.
Yeah, heck yeah.
There's another thing. I don't know if what it is. It's pomade, but it's called Uppercut.
Yeah,
I think that's what my buddy has at his barbershop.
nice. Very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, rockabilly vibes. Love it.
pomade,
Yeah,
Uppercut
pomade, love
Deluxe.
it.
That's the one.
Come here for GraphQL, stay for pomade discussions, you know?
Yeah. What's new in
Uh,
pomade this week?
yeah. Oh, I should do a YouTube channel where I try out pomades and rate them. Might be onto something here.
I think the YouTube channel is Apollo GraphQL,
Yeah.
ApolloPomade.io.
Executive contour with a hard part with the best pomade. Oh yeah. Yeah, you got the look down, huh? Executive contour. I call that the banker cut. That's what I've always called that. Yeah.
What do
Yeah.
we call this? What do we call this
Uh,
mess going on right here?
I don't know. I think I just call that bedhead.
Okay.
I think that's the universal term for that, right? Like it's just like you let it do what it does. You get out of bed, you don't touch it. It's bedhead.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
To be fair, I did take a shower this morning,
Oh,
so
for
it
sure. But
shower head.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I think it's just like a term. It just means like
Yeah, yeah.
basically you let your hair fall where it falls and you don't concern yourself with it. I think
I
that's
like
like
I like salts meaning a little better.
what
The
did he say?
the
The
COVID.
COVID.
Yeah,
Also,
I was doing the COVID long before COVID.
right? Edwards 8, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. So I finally figured out that I can pop out the activity feed. So now I have chat, activity feed, and
Oh,
you,
nice.
Blades. So I got it all stacked up nice and
You're
neat.
on
So now,
top of it, dude.
yeah, now I don't have to go like this anymore and like look at the OBS display to try and figure out what's going on.
Yep.
Yeah, so I guess like maybe we should talk about GraphQL. I was gonna ask you how, your weekend went and all that, but I feel like we've used up our intro on Pomade, and we should probably get Nerdophile. Thank you for the follow. Hey yo. Also, I don't know if y'all have noticed, but when the file comes, we have our little astronaut, Apollo astronaut pops up with like the heart gifs. I super love that little gif. It's adorbs, and I'm very happy with it. It's been recently updated, so it's very cool. And we've now got emotes, which is also awesome. So real quick, let's take a look at those. We've got the Apollo heart. We've got Apollo yay, and we've got Apollo for when there's a question. Shaboopy. 3 little emotes.
Nice.
3 little emotes for you. Yeah, so you got to subscribe to get them. Unfortunately, I'm trying to figure out how to make that not be a thing, because I would love for everyone to be able to use these cute emotes, right?
That would be ideal.
In a perfect world. In a perfect
For sure.
world. But Twitch wants to make their money, and I can't blame them. You gotta pay the bills to keep the streams afloat. So it is what it is. Hey, look at that. Nice.
Looks good, huh?
I love them. They're cute. It's hard to make emotes look good. Emily did such an amazing job.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's exciting stuff.
It's very exciting, I must say.
Moving on up in the streaming world, Kurt.
Yeah, it's like we're actually, professionals here,
Far from it, dude.
I know,
But
right?
we're out here. We're out here.
We're working on it. But if you want to know who the artist is, if you want to get some stuff going, it's Emily BB Ghost on the Twitters. Emily with curls is the actual handle. Check her out. She does awesome work. Super awesome work. And she was awesome to work with as well. Good experience all around. Loved it. Love
Shout
it.
out to
Yeah, seriously, I'm thinking about I need better emotes for my personal stream, and I'm thinking I'm just gonna be like, hey Emily, let's do round 2. Maybe you could do some emotes for me as well.
That would be a fantastic idea.
Yeah, right? Why not? Okay, all right. So I think without like further ado, let's get into some GraphQL stuff. I found some pretty interesting things this week, so I'm very very curious. I mean, it's not too much, but it's enough. It's enough that let's dive into it.
Let's do
What
it.
do you think?
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Copy link address. Let me flip on over. Hey, now you see my desktop, and now you don't see us. I'm loving this new setup I got going in OBS. We got multiple views, and I'm going to be working on cooler transitions. It's going to be neat. Very neato. Let's blow it up for the folks at home so you can see it. Yeah, so what we've got going on. Urkel has released a new version of DevTools. This seems important, so I figured I would share it because improved DevTools means improved developer experience. So if you're out there and you're using Urkel, definitely check out the new version of Urkel DevTools. And it looks like we've got a link here to the release tags. So let's copy that link address as well. And let's drop it in. If I'm being honest, I hate when Twitter does that, but it's whatever. It's whatever. Oh, something else to know. I have started adding commands. I think it's only partially working. It should work into the Twitch chat, but for some reason I can't get it to show up on the stream screen, but now you should be able to do uses, schedule, and COC. So starting to add some commands, y'all, to the Twitch channel. So feel free to try some of those out in chat, and hopefully it works and is not completely busted. But yeah. Oh, there we go. So that worked. But yeah, so see, if you look on the actual layout, we only get the uses, but it didn't drop in the URL. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on there. And I think what I have to do...
We got the URL in there.
It got the URL in chat, but not look on screen where I'm bringing chat into
yeah.
Yeah. So I got some work to do, but we're getting there. We're getting there, folks. But yeah, so it's progress. Something I just started working on it this morning, like an hour before the stream. So... yeah, okay, so let's do this. Let's continue moving on. And shout out to a new Schema Explorer. So shout out to Sophia, because that's cool. It's always good to be able to explore your schema. All right, let's see what else we got.
Yeah, so the Urkel DevTools, just I guess to touch on that for a quick sec, for people who are unaware, Urkel is like a front-end GraphQL client, similar to Apollo client.
Yeah.
So it's an alternative choice to, or it's just a choice when you want to pull in GraphQL data into your app. And I guess until recently they've not had DevTools. Is this the first release of DevTools, or is this just a major update?
The major update, and it's really like this is 2.2, so I mean they're on their second major version, and that's what I'm saying is like I didn't even realize that they had a DevTools, and that is awesome.
Me too.
Yes, awesome. Fish, awesome. Thank you for the follow. So we've got another follow.
Do you know offhand like what sets Urkel apart from other GraphQL clients? Like what makes them different from Apollo or Relay or...
Yeah, well, I could definitely tell you what makes it different from Relay. So Relay is an all-encompassing framework with very specific best practices or patterns built into the actual client and server-side implementations, which is like very... I mean, technically it's really only a client, but like your server has to be set up a specific way to make everything work properly. Urkel is more like Apollo client in that you get a more it's like lower level than Apollo client too, where like Apollo client tries to do some stuff for you. Let's just open it. Let's go take a look at Urkel. All right.
Yeah, I'm looking here at, there's like a philosophy page I just found here. Check this out.
Oh, cool.
Minor derailment, I guess, but I think it's important to know if we're talking about Urkel DevTools, what might drive somebody to use Urkel in the first place.
Yeah. So I think so. Let's see. It tries to simplify sending queries and mutations and receiving results declaratively. I mean, that sounds pretty standard. Abstracting caching and state management. So they have a different implementation of caching, where I believe theirs is like what I mean by lower level is like Apollo cache works a certain way. But I think with the Urkel cache, actually I haven't seen it in a while, but last time I used it, the way the cache worked was you implemented an interface, and then you could essentially have cache work any way that you want. So you could store it in local storage, you could do in-memory things with it, you could do whatever. As long as you met the interface, you could do whatever you want inside of the cache. Otherwise, it just like stored everything in like an in-memory object for you as its base implementation. So,
okay.
Yeah, so... cached in memory notifications can be sent to the part of the app. So again, it's been a while. I haven't gone too much into that. But let's go look. GraphCache. What's GraphCache? Yeah, fully configurable via exchanges. That's it. They have cache exchanges.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep, that's right. Okay. So using exchanges, let's go look at rules of exchanges. Okay, so basically your operation comes in and then you could do something with the operation, and then you can return that operation result. So essentially, I would think forward and return composition. It seems like you can like tie into the operation before something happens.
Kind of like middleware
Yeah.
in Apollo land.
Yeah. So like if you got a forward operation, it says here like case, we could do fetch exchange. We get back fetch stream of results, which we can also change before returning. So this kind of reminds me of type policies. Like you can change the data there.
Yeah.
SNES23 with the follow. Thank you. Also, Sara BH2004 with the follow. Thank y'all. This is cool having this up because now I can see all this, and thank you all in real time because I appreciate you. Yeah. Thank
SNES, you. Great console.
Yeah. And then only one operations stream. Yeah, I think I would need to dive into this a little bit more. I think
Chris says in the chat that because Ken created it is what sets it apart. I don't know who Ken is in this case. But,
he's referring to Ken Wheeler, and I will say that I have to disagree. So Ken hasn't worked on this in a long time. He did work on the first version, but it's really the folks at Formidable who have taken Urkel and really fleshed it out into something, that's there. Not taking away from Ken's work on the initial setup and stuff of it, but a lot of stuff has changed since Ken's had his hands on it. But yeah, all in all, I think what sets it apart is that it appears to be a client-side GraphQL library that a lot of folks enjoy using, and they like the API. And
yeah, I was doing a little bit of like reading on my screen, and there's a blog post talking about this that basically implies that because Urkel is lighter weight, like there's less JavaScript being executed apparently with Urkel than with Apollo Client, that it results in overall like faster responses. So when you first load a page, the time from page initial load to like a contentful paint is shorter by a factor of in their findings about 350 milliseconds.
That's a decent amount.
Which is a pretty significant when we're talking about perf, pretty significant amount of time, but results may vary, I'm guessing, with
that's a very isolated use case. There's a lot of other factors that can affect what happens, but that's cool. It's good to know.
But yeah,
and also
I get the sense that if your use case is relatively simple, that this might be a great drop-in replacement, and there's not a whole lot of refactoring that has to happen. But when it comes to more complicated applications, I think Apollo Client does a lot of that. All that the extra JavaScript that comes bundled with Apollo Client results in kind of like an easier time developing complicated applications.
Yeah, and they have an advanced section. I'd actually be interested. I should really go in and just build something with it and try and build like a more advanced app just to see, because I'm curious, because I just don't have the experience with it to comment really outside of that. So yeah.
Same here, dude.
Yeah. Well, we will leave it there then. Check it out, folks. Try it out.
Cool.
See if you like it. So something else that's coming up that I thought is really cool. Oops, I just did that incorrectly. Let me copy this link address and flip us back over. Shaboom. Get rid of this. One tab. I do like the website for Urkel. It is nice.
They do a pretty good job over there.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool logo too. All right. But next up, we have Carolyn Stransky is creating an FAQ for GraphQL. So I'm interested to see what becomes of this, just like a general FAQ. So what this is it's part of Google's season of docs, right? Where people submit projects to like get people to help them like work on docs. And I think they get like technical writing classes and some other stuff like that. And then at the end of it, what you end up with is a new set of docs, right? So it's for like technical writers. And this project in particular is going to be for GraphQL. And Carolyn's going to be the technical writer working on this. And so essentially, this is going to be for the FAQ section for GraphQL. So when you go to and learn, like go to, I guess, graphql.org or wherever it is, you will be able to see these FAQs in the future. This is just the start of the season.
Amazing.
And the projects. But yeah, it's cool. I'm excited to see what comes of this. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, I'm excited to see it finally or end up in its final
form,
living space. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is exciting stuff.
It really is. Yeah. So I'm super pumped about that. Love GraphQL, as we all do, right? If we're sitting here, and the more information that we can supply, especially to people who are new to GraphQL, I just feel like the better off that we will be in the long run, right? We want to answer any questions that we can think of and make it easier for people to not have to go and find that information. So I'm all about it.
There's a page in RDocs called the GraphQL glossary that I don't think gets enough shine. It's kind of buried, but it's really useful. I kind of stumbled upon it a couple weeks ago, and I was just like reading through it, like, hey, this is actually really good to know. Like having a single page where I can see like all of these terms defined, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And so I just want to take a note. So I rediscovered this. I had forgotten about this page, and I rediscovered this at GraphQL Summit. This came up in the Learning GraphQL panel.
Okay.
And somebody said that this was a very useful resource to them. So why don't I go ahead and drop that in the chat as well? You know.
Sure.
But yeah, absolutely. So it covers a lot of terms that you might, come across and get confused by within the GraphQL world. And not only does it have the definitions, but it has examples. And there's nothing better than that, right? So
yeah, I think it's a really kind of good,
is.
succinct way to kind of get up to speed on some of the terminology you might be hearing thrown around if you're new to GraphQL, or even if you've been doing it for a while and people are talking about operations and directives and all this stuff,
strings,
and you're like
extensions, fields.
Yeah, like, dude, I just write queries and mutations. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yep.
But it can be good. Like, yeah, nothing wrong with a little bit of knowledge.
Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Knowledge is good,
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Amon himself says
that they've been using it.
There you go.
That's
what we like to hear.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
All right, so next up, this one I just thought was really neat. Sorry, y'all. Excuse me, I seem to have developed a frog within my throat. All right, yeah, it's fine. Hopefully it comes out. So I thought this was cool. So this is Eric Clemens was talking about when he was like trying to scale up GraphQL. At Starbucks, he was saying that people would always wonder, like, why is it returning a 200 if there's errors? And that's true. Like, so if you end up with partial errors, right, like you're still going to get a 200 code because it did work. But something that they started doing, which I think is very interesting, is when they had a partial error, it would actually return a 206 partial content. And that made it easier for them to, like, at a higher level, not at the exact query level, to notice, catch, and measure when they would get, like, partial responses. I just thought that was cool, so I wanted to share that with everyone. Let me flip this
That's
over.
Really sweet. I'm gonna bookmark this tweet and come back to read it later. I don't know. I wonder how difficult that would be to implement
on the server
in my own API, like if I was
Yeah.
using Apollo server or something like that. But But
Yeah,
that's really good to know.
it is really good to know. It's really neat. I really like it. I'm not sure how, yeah, you would pull this off. Maybe you could reach out to him and say, hey, I'm just curious. Is there like, did you have like a specific pattern you use or something like that? Shek Arm with the follow. Thank you. Much appreciated. We love it. We love to see it. Thank you for joining us. And then, yeah, so let's see. Yeah, that was cool. That was pretty neato, I thought. Partial updates, folks. Let's see. What else we got here?
Hmm.
Ooh,
Being used by the Bucks
yeah,
themselves.
by the Bucks. Yeah, not, you might only get half of your latte, and you want to know, right? It's a
Yeah,
two,
that's the partial order in the or partial yeah,
yeah, or maybe you
partial
got your,
content.
yeah, your latte, but not your muffin. And they're like, we're sorry. We're... All right, I'm gonna stop. I'll shut up.
Everything is okay.
Every...
Here's your muffin.
Yeah,
Now
exactly.
be gone.
Oh my gosh, I can't even. Okay. All right. So next up, we've got boom, GraphQL Madrid coming up August 24th. So set your calendars, folks. Make sure to tune in because guess what? Our own Khalil Stembler is going to be talking about Apollo GraphQL Client version 3. So it's going to be super awesome, but that's not it. We got folks from Prisma and Auth0 who are also going to be there. Talking about a lot of useful stuff in the GraphQL ecosystem. You know? What's Nexus? Do you know what Nexus is? Dev with
No.
Nexus and Prisma. So Prisma is on my list of things to get back into and give the old college try to again. But I am not familiar with Nexus.
Me neither. Nexus.
GraphQL.
Where do I know Nexus? Is Nexus a thing in StarCraft?
Nexus.js.org. Oh, I don't know. I don't know about StarCraft.
I think that the Protoss, their like home base is called the Nexus.
So I think I found it.
What I think of when I hear Nexus.
Yeah, for sure. I think I discovered it though, and I think it's this. This GraphQL Nexus. I dropped it in the chat. TypeSafe by default works with the GraphQL ecosystem and data agnostic. So it's a declarative syntax layered on the GraphQL.js library. Whatever you do with GraphQL.js or Apollo tools, you can do with Nexus. Interesting. Automatic type inference, even in JS. Auto completion on type names. Okay. SDL Nexus converter. So it will read your... Oh, so it looks like a more imperative approach to defining your schemas?
So what... is it like a library that I install, or is it a VS Code plugin?
No, it's it looks like a lot. Well, I would imagine it's both. I imagine there's a VS Code extension that you use, and that's the client side. But it's code. It's definitely code. So there's an SDL to Nexus converter. Yeah, so it's like defining types imperatively instead of declaratively at a high level, which does do a lot of things, you know?
Yeah.
Valak does. Dropping in with the follow. We love to see it. Thanks for joining us. I'm very interested to check this out. Conditional type inference. So you can, I guess, specify auto completion on type names. I'm interested. Yeah. I want to know more about this tool. Docs. Aims to combine the simplicity and ease of development of SDL development approaches like GraphQL tools with long-term maintainability of programmatic construction, as seen on Graphene Python, GraphQL Ruby, or GraphQL JS. Nexus is dope. Oh, awesome. So, thank you for jumping in, Marc-Andre, in the chat. I've never tried it. What do you particularly like about it? I would love to know. So it looks like you install... Oh, here we go. Building an example schema. Yeah, so it's a programmatic approach to building your schema. That's cool.
Neat.
Huh.
And I guess it just leaves you with a schema object that you would then pass into your GraphQL server, whether
Yeah.
using Apollo or GraphQL Yoga or
I
something
don't
like
think it
that.
matters. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do outputs. Is this live? This is live. We'll do it live. Do you mean are we live right now? Or do you mean is this live? And thank you for the follow because we much appreciate it.
Just to prove that it truly is live.
Yeah. Yeah. Another follow. Yo, thank you all for coming in.
This is
JMI Aggie.
not
Yo,
a
we're getting
test.
a lot of follows. All right, so it's a whole code first versus SDL first debate. Got it. But those who like to define schemas using code will generally really like Nexus. It's cool. And you can plug it into Apollo server as it just builds a schema object in the end. That's really cool. I do also like these outputs. So you can like build static schemas as well, which makes it really interesting because that makes it super easy to then push your schemas into something like Apollo Studio, right? And then manage your schemas from there. Ooh, I might try this out. So tomorrow I've got a mission briefing, and Brian Douglas from GitHub is going to be coming on, and the goal is to push schemas into Apollo Studio using GitHub Actions. So I'm very curious to try that out. And I think Nexus might be a good example. Any TypeScript. Oh, okay. Any TypeScript to GraphQL schemas, I think is what JMI Yagi's asking. Might have been be intro to AC3. Nice. Awesome. Very cool. You watched that? That was such a good video. That was so much fun. Awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Let's see. Okay. Any TypeScript? I mean, it looks like this will definitely convert your schema to TypeScript. So like it will do type gen for you. If you want to get TypeScript from a GraphQL schema, if that is what you're asking, GraphQL CodeGen is the library I think that you want to look at. Yeah. Let me bring that up.
Yes, sir. Is it this
GraphQL Code Generator?
Generator?
Yeah, I believe this is it.
we both say GraphQL Code Generator with the same inflection when we end up on the page.
Code Generator? Think this is it. Yeah, I think this is it. I believe this is the one. Yeah, but that's what I would recommend. Cool. So I'm definitely peaked on Nexus. I'm gonna try this out. I like the idea of building your schema programmatically or like with code, not necessarily programmatically as in like you get what I'm saying.
I got you. I got you.
This is cool.
Very dope.
Yeah, it's very dope. I can't wait to check this out. So I'm so glad that this came up in the list because it's like you learn something new every day. It's like you think you know the GraphQL ecosystem, and then a new tool, a new thing, awesome thing just like pops up, and you're like, this is amazing. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, so I'm definitely going to try Nexus. Is this typed? Yes. Well, it will generate types. So it's just code, and you can write it in TypeScript because it's code. So I would imagine, because it looks like JavaScript, that yeah, you could type it and it will export types. So it seems here that you could generate a schema and also have outputs and specify where you want them to go. But the coding process, I would say, is supported by types. That's the vibe I'm getting. And why I say that is if we go back and we look at this for TypeScript or JavaScript, and a lot of the examples that they're doing, automatic type inference, of course, even in JS, but to me, it seems like a lot of the stuff that they're really focusing on is the TypeScript side of things. So I would say, yeah, it's auto completion on type names. I'm going to say, yeah, it supports types, like typed JavaScript. And it will actually convert your SDL to Nexus code for you. So that's wild. And I like that. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I want to use Nexus, but I don't want to hand type out this huge schema that I already have. So it will actually do it, which is actually I wonder if they have a playground. They sure do. Because I was going to say, like, it would seem like it'd be fun to see what gets generated. Like, okay, I have this type. Oh, this might be busted.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it seems like
Come on, Nexus.
Yeah, it seems like there's an issue with the playground right now, but definitely something to check out. Or SDL converter. This is really what we want. Here we go. Yeah, so we have over here a existing schema, and then what we have here is there. You could also paste in an endpoint. Let's try this. What is the endpoint to your countries API?
Oh, but just countries.trevorblades.com.
That's what I thought. Okay, countries.
HTTPS if you need the protocol.
I put it in already, so we're gonna see.
All right, let's check this out.
All right, so I entered the URL. I don't see it doing anything though. That might not be working. Seems like there might be some work there, or maybe I broke something, or maybe I don't need.
What have you done?
That.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what. There's no like button or anything, you know?
Yeah.
Like, what does that input do?
I don't know. But look at this.
Oh.
So as I type, it's updating. Okay. So boom.
Whoa.
Hello.
See, it works, guys. It works.
Yeah, it does work. Look at this. String hello. It's wild.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, I dig it. I just don't see like how it's making it required. What does it change if I take that off? Oh, nullable true. So it is doing something. Very cool. So let's do another one. Let's say you could have, let's do this. Let's actually change this to hello. And then we'll say type hello. And this will have a message. And that will be a string. Boop. And then we'll say, oops. And then we'll also say, let's just do something like name that's optional, just because I want to see like what that is. Is that not how you do that? Yeah, you don't define it like that in a type. I'm like mixing TypeScript and
yeah.
Okay, but this is neat.
The mashup nobody asked for.
Yeah. Yeah, but this is cool. I like this. I'm gonna try this.
Sweet.
Yeah, I really want to know what this is supposed to do though. Like, I want this to work. And it's not. I'm clicking buttons and it's just not doing nothing. Hey.
Please input.
I imagine this is open source. And if it is, and you want to get involved in some open source, you should see if you can go check this out. Yeah, the playground is busted too. I imagine if we went and looked, we would see some stuff, in their GitHub repository about these issues. Or maybe they just recently pushed something and it broke a little bit, but... okay, so it looks like it's looking for a paste event. Interesting. And I typed it out. And I think it did say, like, paste your URL here. Let me try. Yeah, paste your endpoint here. But it still seems to be failing. Request is failing. Are you sure that's your endpoint?
Somebody get in there and fix their shit.
Yeah, go fix that
shit. My endpoint is... I'm pretty confident that my endpoint is up. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, but still, pretty neato. Gonna say that. Definitely neato. All right. So also, note to self, follow instructions. Paste your endpoint here. And then I went in and typed it. But it still didn't work with the paste. But I should have followed the instructions.
Didn't work, but still the principle
is, yeah, follow instructions.
Still rings true.
Yep, take time to read the instructions. Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, this is pretty neat. I like it though. But cool. So Nexus is definitely high up on my checkout list. The last thing that I have for today, and I'll just might as well. Oops, I keep hitting open a new window, and that is not what I want. I want to copy link address. Okay. I might as well just leave the screen up. Is Twitter Engineering has released a new blog post talking about rebuilding Twitter's public API. So I'm not going to go through like the whole thing, but they did just launch the new Twitter API version 2. It's the first public API release since 2006, and they're using, big surprise, some GraphQL. So
Oh,
yeah, so endpoints to a unified GraphQL
that's huge.
service. So let's click this button. Oh, here we go. So there's well, this is a post from 2017 that it links to. Let's drop both these links into the chat. Let me grab them. So here we go. And then, which links out to SourceGraph, where I guess it kind of goes over from the perspective of what they're looking at. But yeah, so migrating from individual internal REST endpoints to a unified service. So they go through kind of talking about componentizing the platform, how it's broken down. And they have like different types of selections and resources and things. I haven't played around with it, but here it is. So we could see slash. This is interesting. GraphQL plays a key role. We can utilize GraphQL fragments as the unit of our rendering reuse. For example, queries below all use the platform tweet fragment, which is a fragment created by combining all the customer requested fields in the resources tweet directory. I'm very confused because this looks a lot like a REST API endpoint.
Let's. I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. But they have this selection URL.
Oh. I think by the looks
Ah.
of it, they have you got two options.
Yeah.
You can it's kind of a funny way to structure a GraphQL API because they have like multiple endpoints,
Yeah.
like depending on what kind of GraphQL operations you want to do.
Yeah.
Like if you want to select a single tweet, you hit this selection. At least this is how I'm understanding it. Or you can do the same thing by hitting the REST
Multi-IDs
endpoint.
API. Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Hmm.
Putting it all together.
That's what I want to know. I want to see everything on one graph, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I want. Everything on a single graph. Guide to the future
People
of
want
Twitter API. Give the people what they want.
one graph, one graph, one graph. Woo!
I don't know, Chill Nerd. I'm a little confused. I don't know how you use it.
It would be really awkward if you ended up just like like sending out fetch requests to these GraphQL APIs with like a GraphQL payload on top, because it'd be hard to take advantage of a front end
graph.
client like Urkel or Apollo if your GraphQL endpoint changes for every request, you know?
Yeah.
Or for different types of requests. You'd expect it to just be different fields.
I imagine there'll be more content following, so that we can figure this out. Or there might be like just like literally the docs. Like where are the docs?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like they might be grouped into a few endpoints, but like I see GraphQL examples everywhere. Post GraphQL, and then here's this weird endpoint, but that might be internal. Get api.twitter.com/GraphQL. Where are the docs? That's a good question. Let's try to find them. to the docs. Twitter API. Ooh.
I have a feeling.
I got a feeling.
Oh, here we go. Early access.
Oh, they only
That's
use it
nice.
internally. No way. So they use GraphQL internally, but it's still a REST API for us?
Oh,
Boo.
what a tease.
Yeah. Man.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
it is what it is.
I hope you're happy, Twitter.
The REST endpoint uses get method to return information. Yeah, it is what it is.
Got you. Oh well, that's kind of interesting. I remember
It's reverse.
Sasha Solomon from Twitter did a cool talk about how they do error handling at Twitter, and it was all GraphQL related.
Yeah.
And when she was giving that talk, I was thinking like I've never consumed Twitter data with GraphQL. This must be new. And but yeah, the internal only explanation makes a lot of sense.
It does.
You know, considering all that.
Sadly, it makes a lot of sense, but like, hey, they have an API. This is really wild to me though, because like I feel like we're in the upside down. Because like normally you put GraphQL in front of your REST APIs and not REST APIs in front of your GraphQL APIs. This is the first time I've seen something like this, especially at like an API of the scale, right?
Yeah, you would think that the GraphQL would be the outward facing thing.
Yeah, but it's not. And so I'm having,
they're doing their own thing, you know.
Oh yeah, I'm not knocking them. I'm just like saying that like it's cool. It's like interesting to see this pattern in reverse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, chill nerd.
Well,
I feel
I'm
that.
looking forward to seeing the pattern in the way that we all expect it to be anyway.
Yeah. Well, one day. Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, chill nerd brought up a great point. It accelerates development internally. And it's still restricting, obscuring external consumption. It's more backwards compatible with API v1. Might make your transition to v2 a bit easier. I mean, I get it. Also, I guess I got so wrapped up in this, I missed a couple follows. But Dev QW and Juana Pernini. Did I get that right? Let me know if I got that right.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much for the follow. But yeah, cool stuff. My mind's still a little blown. Like, honestly, I'm having trouble thinking of what to say next, because like it's like that GIF with like all the math equations going off. I'm like, the REST is after the GraphQL and not behind the GraphQL, and then it's just like seems backwards.
Yeah, I guess that they I remember years ago, like 10 years ago, when Twitter's API at one point was really a lot more open, a lot easier to build apps with, and they made a decision at some point to kind of like lock things down a little bit.
Yeah.
And to Chill Nerd's point, like restricting and obscuring external consumption. And so this is probably like that I think is the best explanation for something like this that I can think of is it's in line with that policy of keeping like external consumption of the Twitter API to like very specific cases, you know.
I'm probably gonna ruin this, but Ja Uanio says they are using GraphQL and it is amazing, and I couldn't agree with you more, if I'm being quite honest. GraphQL is amazing. Use it for like everything.
Glad to hear it, Ja.
Yeah, we love it. We love to see it. So the stream is called Just Chatting. Can you please go over the pros and cons of Apollo Client 3 cache persistence and justifiable use cases? I could sum up the last part very easily and say the justifiable use case is anytime you don't want to refetch your data because, like, number one, it can be slow, it can affect like performance, like, and how your components are rendering. Two, let's save everyone's network as much traffic as we can. If you don't need to refetch it, if it hasn't updated or changed, why go get it again? If other components need a username, um, uh, you know, like why if we've already fetched that on, like, after they log in, why fetch it again, right? Like, we already have it. Let's save it locally and use that data when we need to. So I think it's like a justification point. It's just, caching comes with a lot of optimizations. Sure, some headaches come with it, but it comes with a lot of optimizations. The pros and cons of 3.0 cache persistence. Well, the pros, I think I just talked a little bit about. One is that it just kind of works out of the box for a lot of things. I would say that one of the cons on the flip side of that is that some things aren't quite as clear as to how you would handle them. Like, fetching a single entity and then refetching it, or doing like a mutation to it, as long as you return it, will automatically update the cache. But if you have a list of items and you need to fetch more of them or refetch them and some data changes, it's a bit more of a manual process. So I think there's room where you can just get kind of caught up and not know which path is the right path or what will be done for you automatically. But that's part of the learning curve of using it. And then one of the other things that you kind of face is cache invalidation, but 3.0 has gone a long way to improve that with cache evict and garbage collection. So garbage collection will clear out any unreachable nodes. So it's just freeing up space. You're not using up as much memory. And with evict, you can find unique parts of the cache and evict those specifically if you need to. You got anything you want to add to that, Blaze?
Yeah, I mean, I think you put it pretty well there. I mean, the obvious pro of cache persistence is just a snappier UI. Like, if you have a website with multiple pages that load disparate sets of data, and you can flip back and forth between them without any loading screen or anything, it just immediate responses served up directly from your memory. That's really, really nice. And I actually just kind of went through an experience of, I guess you could call it the con, but I don't know. It's not. I don't really see it as kind of like a con or a drawback. It's kind of like more of like the cost of this awesome feature of cache persistence that speeds up my app, is that I have to be kind of like aware of my cache and like what the impacts of it are. So the example is, I'm building an app with some logged in state, and I have, like, I'm listing entities, and users, when they're logged in, can favorite these entities. And then when they log out, I want to remove that favorited status from the entities that are displayed on the page. So I either have to, like, abstract away that favorited state, or what I chose to do is, when my user logs out or logs in, I completely reset my cache and refetch all the active queries that are currently like have been cached with the new user state, whether that means it's a different user or somebody logged out. And so that's kind of like one of the more heavy-handed approaches to like cache invalidation, I guess. But yeah, this is just like one of those things that you have to consider. When I first built this thing and I was logging out and I was still seeing some of that user state persisted, it was kind of like artifacts of the user that used to be logged in. And so yeah, you get that. On the flip side, when I'm building my my entity editing interface, let's say, anytime I send a mutation where I get back a response that is the same type and has an ID that already exists in the cache, that data is updated in the cache automatically because Apollo's got great kind of like awareness of the cache, and it can update existing entities with new data automatically without you having to do anything. So that's like a huge quality of life improvement.
Yeah, absolutely. And so he's asking like about cache persistence and kind of offline first experience. There is Apollo Cache Persist, which is a persistent cache. I don't know if it's been updated for Apollo Client 3 yet, so you could definitely dive in and check it out. I'm sure there's also more information online, or you could be rolling your own. So this might be, it's working for AC3. Awesome. So there you go. Yeah, I mean, that's generally my recommendation is to use something like that. Um, yeah.
The
But
other
yeah.
the other thing that I'll mention for that is, and it's a slightly different implementation, but Apollo Cache local storage, rather than
Yeah.
using Apollo Cache in memory,
Yep.
you can use Apollo Cache local storage. I'm just going to drop a link
Do it.
in the chat. Let me find it.
That's one thing I need to add is a command for like elevator music. That'd be awesome.
I can't seem.
I think it's
I
local
can't seem to find
forage,
it.
isn't it? Apollo Cache local forage.
Oh boy. I don't know.
Huh.
Maybe
Yeah.
I was imagining things.
I made it all up. Maybe you dreamt it. Async storage. Yeah. Async storage is something else. It's set to be deprecated though, isn't it? The local storage thing. I don't know. I can't even find it.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I think it's this one. I think
Wait just a
Apollo
second.
Cache in
In
storage rather than in
storage.
memory.
Ah.
So I don't know. Like the last time that this was published was 6 months ago. Might be out of date. On the other hand, it might just not need
What is
frequent
that?
updates.
YMMV. Your mileage may vary.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this I've used this in the past and it worked pretty well.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Any other questions from the? Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, I just had a sneeze with like a frame perfect mute button. I was pretty proud of that.
Oh, amazing! So like, as the sneeze was coming, you hit mute, and it was just like silent
Yes,
mute.
sir.
That's awesome. Quick on the draw. Yeah.
That's
So
right.
we'll leave a couple minutes to say if you've seen anything. Oh, local resolvers that are being deprecated. Yeah, yeah, slowly. They're still there for a while, but type policies are the real bee's knees now. That's
Mhm.
they. I like them a lot more than local resolvers. But yeah, if you've seen anything interesting in GraphQL, drop a link, and we'll give another minute or two. If you have another question while we're waiting for that, go ahead and drop it in the chat because we're here. And Trevor's going on vacation for a week, so y'all aren't gonna see him. So like, now's your chance.
Yep. Now
Yeah,
or never.
get it in. Now or never till next week. I mean,
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna be after this. I'm gonna uh, probably chug the rest of this water.
ooh
Put
yeah,
on another pot of coffee. Just be
love it.
drinking mad fluids this week.
Fluids. Got to get your fluids. Got to get them in.
Truly,
That was actually
it's
yeah,
been a
yeah,
scorcher.
yeah.
Been
That's
drinking like 3 liters of water a day. It's crazy.
you got to stay hydrated. Yeah, that's something that I did a lot of this week that I didn't get to do because of GraphQL Summit the last 2 weeks. Was get some good hydration and fitness in. Yeah.
Fluids.
Yeah.
Well,
Try to be active. I went for a nice beach run, a barefoot beach run. Oh, I just want to go do it again right now. Just want to log off, go back. It was amazing.
That sounds lovely.
It was great. The sun was coming up, so I'm on the East Coast, so the sun rises over the ocean here. So went out super early, get there right when the sun is coming up. Whole beach is empty. We went on a Wednesday, at 7 in the morning,
Awesome.
6:30 in the morning. Beach was completely empty. It was amazing. Yeah, went for a nice little jog and then played with the kids for like 2 hours. It was so much fun.
Good stuff.
It was
I'd
good.
like to go for a run
Oh,
this week. That would be
yeah,
a nice goal. I keep on whenever I'm feeling like in the mood to get out and do
been
something
skating,
physical, I always end up skating.
which is
But
awesome.
I freaking love running too.
Yeah. Um, Yeah, so I've been into grounding lately, which is like just having your bare feet on the ground, like just like touching the earth, and it's
Hmm.
been really cool. I've been liking it. So doing that barefoot run was awesome. So we got a question from Hesneezy who says, "Have you tried to implement a GraphQL server using Nest.js?" And I don't
I
even know what
haven't.
Nest.js is. Oh, it's a framework. It's a Node framework. Hello, Nest. Man, you learn something new every day. You think you know the ecosystem, and you realize that you don't know nothing at all. Let me flip over real quick. So here we go. We got Hello Nest. It is a progressive Node.js framework for building efficient, reliable, scale server-side applications. Sweet, extensible, versatile, progressive. Like nice buzzwords, keywords. I like it. Open source platform designed for the future. Build enterprise with it. Oh, that's cool. Support offerings. I was just talking with somebody about how like that doesn't really exist in the Node world, and I guess I was wrong. Um, because this is exactly what we're talking about, like something that's like extensible, has like plugin options, but you could do like enterprise, kind of like the Laravel of PHP world.
Hmm.
There was really
Right.
nothing like that for that, but this looks great. Have great GraphQL API, something like Type GraphQL. There you go. So it looks like the chat is answering it for it. So they have. Oh, that's interesting. They're using directives. I haven't seen that in a while. On the TypeScript. Oh, it's TypeScript. So I guess it's probably more common. This is
Hmm.
neat.
Really cool. Thanks, chat, for stepping in with the additional info. Us two jabronis up here have no idea what
Yeah,
about half
jabronis,
this
and
stuff.
they're using Apollo.
Cool.
This is really cool. Yeah, this is awesome. So let me see if I can find like GraphQL. Here we go. Quick start. So you install Nest.js GraphQL, GraphQL tools in GraphQL. Makes sense. Getting started. Module. Imports GraphQL module for root, which I guess just makes it available at the root instance, I would say. Debug false, playground false. I bet you could turn introspection off there. Um, GraphQL playground. This looks cool. Multiple endpoints. Oh, wow. So if you want multiple endpoints, you can include other modules. That's wild.
Neat. Yeah, they're using GraphQL modules from the guild.
Yeah, this is awesome. Code first. I like this. Another thing I have to check out follows Angular application structure. Interesting. Angular style. I like your comment there, Blaze. I missed that.
No, no, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
But no,
if you're
it
into that,
uses like
that's
like
fine.
module type systems where you join together all your modules. This is neat. Definitely another thing to check out. Man, it's like, I keep saying this. I wish I had one of those like Dragon Ball Z training domes where
Yeah,
I could just go in there and pause time and try out
hyperbolic
Nexus and
time
try
chamber,
out
dude.
Ness. Yeah, exactly. So I could just go in there and time would move way slower or out. Yeah, like it would be faster in there than out here or move slower in there. I don't know. I don't know the physics behind it, but the point being is I would spend 6 months in there and it'd be a couple minutes out here
And then you'd come
because
out the most confused man on the planet. You're like, what do I use? There's too many good tools.
Options overload.
I don't know what to build with.
That's amazing.
Warlock, we're kind of just playing around. I don't
Yeah.
particularly. I've used Angular once and I wasn't digging it, so I tried something else. But plenty of people use Angular and love it.
Yep.
No
I've used
ill
Angular.
will towards Angular, but
Yeah,
not my bag.
I've used it on multiple projects for multiple things. It worked well. This was before React days, before Webpack days. I was using Require.js, and Angular and the module system worked really great with Require.js. It was a nice way to kind of get like your builds pretty small and essentially kind of dynamically include things and make sure you had some nice scoped areas to work in outside of the global scope. It was pretty cool. It's good stuff. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm still a fan of things like Angular's filters, and actually a lot of templating languages have that. I've been working in 11t, and a project I'm working on is using Nunjux as the templating framework, and they have filters, and it was very easy for me to pick up because I was already familiar with Angular's filters. So it's pretty cool. The thing that gets me about Angular that I don't like is just kind of how they have like their own custom event loop. Like there's two loops you have to manage. You have to manage like the Angular event loop as well as the like outside JavaScript system. So it's like weird the way updates work. Yeah, it's just interesting, but it's still pretty. I got no beef with it. Let's just say that. I've just started using other things. Luke's online presence. Thank you for the follow.
Excellent username.
Yeah.
Yeah, my only beef with Angular was the fact that they like pollute, or at least the old version of Angular. I haven't used it. I haven't used Angular 2 or whatever it's on, but when I tried it, it felt like they were polluting the DOM. Like all my HTML nodes had all these like ng attributes on them,
Tags.
and I don't know why that bothered me, but I was just like, this looks yuck. But but yeah, I don't know. It's clearly is a great framework because a lot of people use and love it.
Absolutely. And you can build apps with pretty much anything. I don't really use React class name Warlock, but yeah, I get where you're coming from. But however, one thing that bothers the crap out of me in React is context flying V's, where you just have like you open up the like React Dev Tools, and to get to the actual elements need, you have like a tree of 100 layers of context wrappers around it, or providers. Sorry, I meant providers. But like, yeah, there's different things that bother me about each framework, but there are things that bother me less about React currently than there are about Angular, and that's just the way it is, and it's not the same for everyone, and it's really about preference, you know? Yeah. So, Taj, that's very interesting that you just brought that up, because we talked about this today. So something that people have been doing is they still use a 200 request. Let me go get the link to this. But they're using a 206, which means partial content, which makes it easier to identify. How they're actually handling this on the server, I do not know. That is a question for Eric if you want to ask, but let's bring up the tweet here. And in case you weren't in the chat before, I will also drop the link here again. And boom. So people always ask, why is it returning 200 when there are errors? You are one of these exact same people. I myself used to ask the same thing. So what they say now is 206 partial content worked well for monitoring and client-side logic. So if you're getting partial errors, try to return to 206, and on the client, you can use that code to figure out what is going on. That's so wild that you asked that question on the exact same day that I discovered this tweet. Love it.
Yeah, great timing.
Yeah.
Maybe Taj was a plant. You paid them off to come in and ask pertinent questions beforehand.
Do you work at the Bucks? Yeah.
But yeah, awesome. I like the other. I mean, the other thing to consider is like if something in your resolver breaks, and like it's like an internal server error or something like that, something unexpected, you're gonna get a 400.
Yeah.
Um, if it's an error that you throw, like something that you initiate in your resolver, yeah,
Should
you
be
get you're gonna get a 200 on
Yeah.
that. But the way you can kind of think about it is, and I mentioned this before. Sasha Solomon did a good talk at GraphQL Summit on this very topic about like why, like how to like reason about different classes of errors, like breaking unexpected errors versus errors that you specifically like report on that are like a violation of your users um, permissions, or a user not found, or like a thing not found, um, things like that, where you might want to respond in your UI with some state that is not the same kind of state that you would use to represent like our API is broken, or
Yeah.
like whatever you did caused an unexpected error in our API. I'm gonna find that talk and paste it in the chat right now.
Yeah. Do it.
Because it was really really good, and it kind of um, made me
Yeah.
made me reconsider that whole like I remember when I first started using GraphQL, I was kind of thrown off by the idea that like no, these status
Part of the
codes,
system.
right, like these responses need to fall in line with these status codes, um, and so it kind of threw me off. But uh, yeah, after a while, I started to see the benefit of having those two sort of types of errors be treated separately, and I feel like this talk does a good job at helping to explain that. It's only 35 minutes, and you can throw it on in the background when you're working or whatever. As soon as this stream ends, of course. But yeah,
Don't
would
leave us.
recommend it. And she does a Q&A at the end as well.
It's great. It was a really great talk. Yeah, thinking about your errors as like application state instead of like some abstract thing and defining them specifically really helps improve the workflow. It will make it easier for other developers coming on to figure out what's happening, and make it more, because the error handling, like they're going to see in the query, like, oh, these are the type of errors that they're expecting to hit. Easier to write tests around that because now you have like these specific types that you can check for and stuff like that. It's cool. It does a lot of interesting things. You could probably even statically generate some tests to run, like to test against these type of errors. There's GraphQL being typed opens up the doors for a lot of code gen type stuff. So it's just really neat. But yeah, I like the fact that errors are a state of the application, and generally it's not as simple as there was or wasn't an error, and you need more information anyway. So why not just build that directly in?
You got it.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's like a good wrapping up point. I think we've checked out a lot of cool stuff. We've had a lot of awesome conversations. Real quick though, Z Squishy, thank you for the follow. I saw that creep in, and that's an awesome username as well. Y'all got the best usernames. I think this is a good place for us to call it a day, right? What do you think?
Let's call it a day. I'm out of here. I'm going on vacation.
Yeah, you're going on vacation. I got a bunch of work to do. I took a week off, so I got a whole list of ideas of things I thought of over the week that I want to get done. So yeah, I need to get crack-a-lacking on that. So yeah, we're gonna wrap it up here. Should we find someone to raid? Maybe you think there's anyone to raid on this Monday afternoon,
Let me
morning
have a
or
look
evening,
here.
depending on your geographical location?
Let's take a looky. I'm gonna open up Science and Technology.
Bam.
See who is performing the art of web development on this fine Monday. Bum, bum, bum. DigitalOcean Twitch channel launch day. That's kind of exciting.
That sounds
Um,
fun.
that might be the one.
Yeah, let's just do it. Let's
All
not
right.
even.
We'll raid our friends over at DigitalOcean. I'm gonna get that kicked off now.
Booyah.
And yeah, everybody. So thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with us. I certainly enjoyed having spending my morning with you guys. And Kurt, hope you have a good rest of your week.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy your vacation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Will do. Will
All right,
do.
folks. Is it time? Let's do
It's
it.
time. Let's go. See you
Later,
guys.
everyone.